Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. After marriage, I found out that my husband had a former girlfriend he deeply loved. On the night before her wedding, the girl drove all night to give herself to him just to bid farewell to her youth. When I discovered this, my husband begged me not to expose it. Otherwise, her life would be ruined. I came across a heartwarming love story on a social platform. A blogger shared a 6-year love story with her ex-boyfriend. Their past was like a drama coming to life. He was the handsome, well-educated top student, while she was average-looking from an ordinary family and a below-average student. But none of this mattered because he loved her. He got into fights and skipped classes for her, changed his career path for her, and did everything crazy for her. In the end, they still separated due to his mother's strong opposition. After the breakup, they lived in different cities, deleted all contact information, and had no contact with each other. But the girl couldn't get over it. Originally, she planned to be single for life. Having experienced the most brilliant love, she couldn't settle for less. But as she grew older, her parents grew more worried about her future. This year, her mother got cancer. Before her last moments, her greatest wish was to see her daughter get married. She couldn't let her mother down and had to marry someone randomly. 3 days later, she was about to become another man's bride. After much thought, she decided to have one last crazy act. She drove all day and night, crossing half of China to the city where her ex-boyfriend lived, wanting to see him. She wore the couple's outfit they had when they were in love, styled her hair the way he liked, and called him. "I just want to look at you one last time, hug you," she said, considering it a formal farewell to her youth. Such a deeply touching love story. If only the male protagonist wasn't my husband. For me, today was supposed to be a joyous day. I found out I was pregnant. Howard and I have been married for 3 years, and because I wanted to focus on my career, we didn't plan to have children. Howard always respected my thoughts. But over 3 months ago, on his birthday, he made a serious wish and said he wanted a child. He said he was already 32, quite successful in his career, and mentally and financially capable of being a responsible father. "I will do my best to be a good father and give our baby all the love I missed while growing up. I hope the child won't bear any expectations and can grow up freely," he said, looking at me with eager and deep eyes. My heart felt tangled like a web, numb and a little sore. Howard grew up in a single-parent family. Because his father was absent, his mother was particularly strict with him, and their relationship was always distant. So when he expressed his desire for his own child, I couldn't help but feel moved. Moreover, I was about to turn 30, my career was stable, and it was time to have a child. From that day on, we actively started trying to conceive. In this process, we could both feel our eagerness for the arrival of this new life. So when I got the result at the hospital, I couldn't wait to tell Howard he should come home early because I had a surprise for him. He quickly replied with a good. The next second he asked, "Is it the kind of surprise I'm thinking about?" I said to keep it a secret. Clearly, he already knew the surprise I was talking about. Though slightly disappointed that he guessed it, it showed that he also eagerly awaited the arrival of our child. I returned home in a cheerful mood, but then I received a call from Howard. He apologized, saying there was an urgent situation at the company, and he needed to personally handle it. He might need to stay out of town for a few days. His voice sounded guilty. He was the founder of the company, and although his schedule was always full, such sudden business trips were rare. I didn't doubt him at all. I thought it was indeed an emergency. I even asked him if I should help him pack and take his luggage to the office. He paused for a moment, then quickly said, "No need. I have spare business items in the office. Besides, it's so hot. You should stay home and wait for me to come back, honey." His low voice sent a strange electric current through the phone, making my face blush for no reason. Howard and I have been dating for a year and married for 3 years. When we first met, he called me Miss Lily. Once we became a couple, including after marriage, he always called me Lily. I once regretted that we never had pet names like other couples, but thinking of Howard's perpetually serious demeanor, I accepted it. I admired his solid character and didn't expect him to have a fiery passion like a volcano. But now, watching his constant warmth, it seemed there was a spark kindling for me, and I couldn't help but be happy. So even if Howard didn't rush back to celebrate the little life in my belly together, my mind didn't wander elsewhere. I even treated myself to a healthy meal. After dinner in my idle time, I saw the post. The girl in the picture was at the location just below my husband's company. At that moment, I didn't immediately associate it with my husband. I just felt that an intriguing story had appeared around me. I even thought about sharing the post with my husband, asking him to pay attention to the area below the office. But soon I saw the second picture. The girl shared a half-body selfie wearing a t-shirt with a small bear pattern on the chest. The caption read, "During the high school art festival, our class had a performance, and the teacher asked the two of us to play a couple. This is the costume we bought with our class funds." At that time, even though I liked him, I didn't know if he liked me, so I couldn't look him in the eyes even when wearing this outfit. Later, when we got together, he told me he liked me but also couldn't look into my eyes. If he kept this shirt until now, maybe today is the last time wearing it. Although she covered her face, I could recognize that outfit in the photo instantly. I've seen it before. Callie, that blue shirt with a small bear pattern, I've seen it in my husband's closet. The image I had of my husband was always that of a proper elite man who dressed impeccably, even in his leisure time. So when I saw that bear shirt for the first time, I was quite surprised. I asked him, "You have such a cute shirt too." I never knew. However, my husband quickly took the shirt away, saying it belonged to his nephew. He used to stay with us before, and my husband wanted to give it back to him. He seemed so natural, so I didn't ask any further. But I was certain that I hadn't seen that shirt in our home after that incident. At this moment, the two identical bears on the phone screen and the one I had seen in my husband's closet seemed to be mocking me, as if I were a complete fool. My hand involuntarily moved towards my stomach. In that instant, I suddenly understood many things. Like why Howard was always so gentle and confident with me. I've known him for 4 years, and since the day he pursued me, he has always been like a mature and independent person. He has always been a gentleman, always polite. He respects my preferences, accepts my choices, remembers every holiday and anniversary, and lovingly presents gifts. But he never uses any endearments for me, never wears matching outfits with me, and even when we walk on the street, he rarely holds my hand. When I complain, he just looks at me helplessly and says sorry. He mentioned that his original family didn't teach him how to be with a loved one. Intimacy always made him uncomfortable. His expression was confused and apologetic, like a child at a loss when he said those words. My heart almost melted, so I never demanded he do things that made him uncomfortable again. Indeed, it's a pity to feel sorry for a man all his life. What makes him uncomfortable is not intimacy, but me. But wait, wasn't he the one who pursued me first? Tears blurred my eyes. The injustice and anger almost made me break down. But I forced myself to calm down and called Howard's assistant. I asked, "Has Howard left the company? Why hasn't he come home yet?" The assistant replied without suspicion, "It takes at least 40 minutes from the company to home. The boss left the company only 10 minutes ago. Just wait a little longer." The assistant had been with Howard for 8 years and was the most capable employee. If he didn't know about Howard going on a business trip, it could only mean he didn't go. After receiving this answer, I felt like I was plunged into an ice cave. For the first time in my life, I discovered that I was living in a huge lie. I took a deep breath and opened the girl's social account again. Under her half-selfie photo, numerous people were commenting. Many were encouraging her, saying seeing her was like seeing their feudal love selves. Some advised her that missing out on a relationship meant the two were not suitable and dwelling on the past would only harm herself. Only a few sporadic netizens criticized her behavior without morals. However, these sparse comments were soon engulfed in a sea of replies filled with heartache and respect. I couldn't help but reply with trembling hands below. Maybe my words were too intense, which brought a lot of backlash. I endured and endured before refraining from typing out the sentence, "I am the current one." Reason told me not to startle the snake in the grass. If everything was as I thought, I must make Howard pay the price he deserved. In less than 10 minutes, the comments under that post had already exceeded 200. Soon she replied to everyone saying they had already met. Their meeting was tearful. He also cried. She thanked everyone for their concern, reaffirming that she values honesty and won't do anything to her third person. They came to an agreement, and he will accompany her to finish one final thing, and then she will go back. One netizen asked her what that thing was. She said, "A wish." Shortly after, she posted another picture. It was our car and my husband's hand driving. Her caption read, "He is driving me to ride the Ferris wheel." Our first date was when he took me to ride the Ferris wheel. My family background was humble, and I initially felt unworthy of him and never dared to accept his confession. But that day he took me to ride the Ferris wheel. Inside, he held my hand for the first time, allowing me to see the vast sky and the stretch of clouds. He said he may not solve all the problems in my life, but he hoped that at least when I was with him, I would be completely free. I was moved by this phrase and stayed with him for 6 years. He gave me the best of everything he could, and those 6 years with him were the happiest in my life. He took me to many places. We skydived together, climbed mountains together, and went scuba diving together. Though I'm timid, as long as he was by my side, I wasn't afraid of anything. Coming from a wealthy family, he was willing to cook for me, even washing my underwear during my periods. He always told me I deserved the best in the world. He helped me become a better version of myself, so even after we broke up, I never resented him. I only regret not being good enough for him and not being able to go all the way with him. I truly envy his wife. I've seen her resume. Graduated from a prestigious school, beautiful, successful in her career. The ideal person I aspire to be. Seeing her, I realize that I don't even have the right to be jealous, because even I feel that only someone as outstanding as her deserves to stand by his side. I have nothing. I only have some memories. Netizens were moved to tears by her writing, saying she is too pure and kind. But I couldn't help but feel angry. She would never know that I would be grateful for her approval. Just the thought of someone like a dark, filthy bug creeping into my life made me sick to my stomach. Me who's so good, why should I be the background in their love story? Howard was my first love. He pursued me first. This trash concealed his ex, making me just a chapter in his great love story. In that moment, I recalled many things. In our first year together, I invited him to a newly opened amusement park, but he flatly refused. His reason was quite normal. That's a place for kids. I don't like it. He never accompanied me in activities like diving, rock climbing, and skydiving. Whenever I invited him, he just smiled and said he didn't like it. On trips, he never planned anything. He always preferred to find a resort, relax, and enjoy good food and drinks. He says work exhausts him, and he just wants to relax in his free time. He doesn't ask me to cook, but he never cooks himself either. He says he doesn't like the feeling in the kitchen and asks me to handle it. But the truth is, it's not that he doesn't like it. He just doesn't think I'm worthy. He gave all his love and passion to his ex, leaving me with just a corpse of burnt-out feelings. But why should I settle for that? I've made up my mind. The marriage is definitely over, and I need to gather evidence. In our city, there's only one amusement park that has a Ferris wheel. I drove there and found my husband's car in the parking lot. I parked my car not far away. Looking from the parking lot, the Ferris wheel in the sunset was so beautiful and romantic. They say the Ferris wheel is a turn towards happiness. Unfortunately, that happiness had nothing to do with me anymore. I sent my husband a message saying I wasn't feeling well, and asking if he could cancel his business trip. This was my final chance for him. If he could give me the answer I wanted, I thought I could still make things work. But sadly, my message was like a stone sinking in the sea. Until dusk, I didn't hear back from him. As the daylight gradually faded before my eyes, my heart became colder and harder. After a long time, I finally saw Howard and that woman holding hands in the parking lot. I turned on the video camera I had prepared and started recording. The high-quality footage perfectly matched their breathtaking and heartbreaking love story. He opened the car door for her. She tipped out to kiss his forehead. Howard seemed startled by that kiss, as if it had stirred something inside him. After the quick kiss, the woman stepped back, smiled, waved goodbye, and then walked away. As she turned, tears were clearly running down her face. Howard stood there, staring blankly at her retreating figure, his face showing a familiar sense of confusion and heartbreak, making me want to punch him in the face. Soon as expected, he caught up with her. After a few moments of struggle, he finally embraced his beloved woman and then kissed her delicately, as if holding a precious treasure, both fully invested in the moment. This pair of ill-fated lovebirds at that moment overcame societal obstacles and inner demons, deciding to be together again. What a complete ending, I thought. That was it. But it wasn't. After the long kiss, he put her in the car and drove off. I stepped on the gas and followed them. Initially, I thought they were going to a hotel to relieve old memories. But Howard drove into a residential area. The neighborhood wasn't particularly upscale, nor was it new or even gated. My car followed them into the neighborhood. Soon, they parked the car and entered one of the residential buildings together. I stood below and not long after saw the lights on the top floor turn on. The motions inside me urged me to break in, confront that cheating couple and cause a scene. But my rational side made me think, why would Howard bring his ex-girlfriend to this mediocre residential building after so many years apart? With my instincts, I felt there was some hidden secret in that house. I forced myself to stay calm and sent the address to my best friend Coco, asking her to come quickly. As I was about to face them, I feared I wouldn't stand a chance alone against the two of them. Coco asked me, "What are you doing there at night? Not catching Howard cheating, right?" "Just kidding." Tears welled up in my eyes uncontrollably. Coco quickly sensed something was wrong and raised her voice. "Don't tell me I hit the nail on the head?" I struggled to suppress the choking in my voice. "Yes, catching him cheating." "Are you coming?" Coco's voice became completely calm. "Just wait there. Don't act recklessly. Wait for me no matter what happens until I get there." I hung up sobbing loudly. Inside the dimly lit car, it was impossible to deny feeling heartbroken and wronged. My original family was never happy. My parents divorced when I was 6 because my dad cheated on my mom. When I was 12, my mom died of cancer, leaving me without a family. I've always longed for the warmth of a family. Howard made me believe I had found love. He was my first love. We met at work. He was tall, handsome, well-mannered, and in his pursuit, he seemed devoted. He would wait for me downstairs at the company for 2 hours just to pick me up after work, send Dutch airmail roses to my office every day, take me to taste the local cuisine in his spare time, and even prepare hot water for me during my period. But now I finally understand that these details of his love for me that I once cherished were mere insincerity. He shouldn't have lied to me. I never imagined using marriage to exchange for anything. I studied hard, worked tirelessly, and always fought to move forward just to avoid ending up like my mom. I hoped I could always make choices on my own, and not be chosen by others like my mom. The first time I read the phrase "life hanging by a thread" as an adult, it felt like a blow to me. Hanging life on a thread, hanging on to prevent falling, as if the pain didn't matter. Surviving was the priority. I knew there was no one I could rely on, so I've always pursued happiness with the attitude of hanging my life by a thread. When I met Howard, I even thought fate was kind to me. Finally, my life could relax a bit. On our wedding day, I took Howard to visit my mom's grave. I told her, "Mom, you can rest assured I found a lifetime of happiness." Howard shattered my dreams of love and marriage with his own hands. I think this is the last time I'll allow myself to be weak. After this cry, I will transform into an invincible female warrior. When Coco arrived, I had already calmed down. I shared with her the social media account of that woman. Since going upstairs, she hadn't updated her account. But as expected, two exes who hadn't seen each other for more than 2 years going to an event where their relationship started, and then returning to a confined space together. Every adult knew what could happen. Coco hugged me. "I know that nothing I say right now can fully comfort you, but I still want to say that I have always been here. No matter what decision you make, I will unconditionally support you." I teared up again, feeling both weak and fortunate. Thankfully, I still had a friend. I felt like fate hadn't completely abandoned me. I told Coco about my plan, and we went upstairs together. I ordered takeout to this address. When the delivery guy arrived, I gave him a $20 tip and explained the situation, making sure he opened the door for me no matter what. The guy was righteous and very helpful. He pretended to be from the neighborhood committee doing a housing survey and quickly opened the door. Howard was standing inside, wearing the couple's outfit with a teddy bear pattern, looking at me in shock. Coco forcefully pushed him aside and pulled me into the room. It was a warmly decorated and neatly arranged room that exuded a cozy atmosphere. The first thing I saw was the photo wall next to the dining table. It was filled with various photos of Howard and a girl. The most striking one was of the girl in casual clothes, wearing a simple wedding veil, smiling at Howard. The deep affection in their eyes was unmistakable. I suddenly remembered when I wanted to create a photo wall at home shortly after marrying Howard, but he said it was tacky and didn't match our home's decor. Besides, I wasn't a fan of taking photos. He rarely took photos either. Except for wedding photos and some formal occasions, he never took pictures with me. But on this photo wall, he and his beloved girl wanted to take pictures at every opportunity. Strangely, I didn't feel heartbroken anymore. I just felt disgusted. What was even more disgusting was the bedroom door being wide open, the room in a mess, and an indescribable nauseating smell of desire lingering in the air. It was clear what had just taken place. I bent over and vomited. Howard's face changed and he reached out to help me. I quickly stepped back, afraid of his dirty hands touching me. Water sounds came from the bathroom, indicating who was taking a shower. It was obvious. The female voice asked, "Who is it?" Without hesitation, Coco kicked open the bathroom door. The woman named Jenny screamed in horror. Coco had been recording everything since we entered, and at that moment, she unceremoniously pointed the camera at Jenny's face. "Howard, having fun, huh? Your wife just found out she's pregnant, and you're here fooling around." Howard finally reacted and tried to grab Coco's camera. I wasn't going to let him take it, so I pulled him back. He pushed me back, and I hit the table corner with my head, causing sharp pain. I touched it and felt blood trickling down. Howard didn't even notice me. He was busy fetching a towel and wrapping it around his ex. The ex-girlfriend looked dejected as she sobbed in his arms. Howard's face turned ashen, protecting his girl while also approaching Coco, who was holding the camera. "How did you get in? You're trespassing. Get out of here or get ready to receive a letter from my lawyer." It had been a long time since I felt this way. It felt like back when my parents divorced and my mom caught my dad cheating. My dad defended the other woman, even going as far as to drag my mom with his car for over 10 meters. I followed my mom, listening to her heart-wrenching cries, feeling my heart being twisted. At that moment, I understood that the man in the car wasn't my dad. He was a beast. For a split second, I wanted to turn into flames and burn the world to ashes. It took me many years to calm down the destructive urge within me. Now it resurfaced. I grabbed the warm water kettle from the table, opened the lid, and splashed it at Howard. Howard was like a comical monkey, screeching and darting around the room. And this was just the beginning. I grabbed the projector stand and swept it across, hitting whatever I could. The wooden bookshelf, the Nordic-style bedside table, the crystal chandelier, along with the cups and dishes full of memories, action figures, and keepsakes, all ended up in pieces on the floor. I smiled amidst this symphony of destruction. Howard watched me in anguish. "Are you crazy? Get out of here." Jenny, wrapped in a towel, wailed, "Please stop. It's our memories." I smiled at both of them, raised the projector, and chased after them. They had to run around the messy room with heads held low. Coco tripped Howard with a kick. I pounced on him and delivered a blow to his groin. Howard let out a cry of pain that I found strangely satisfying. I grabbed his hair and slapped him hard, left then right. By the time he recovered from the initial pain and was ready to fight back, I had already landed a dozen slaps on him. I must have looked like a madwoman. In Howard's eyes, I saw fear. Jenny cried beside us, "Stop. Please stop. It's my fault, not his." Howard quickly turned to me, disgust plain in his eyes. "Lily, I thought you were always sensible and polite. I didn't expect you to be this unruly in private." Coco spat at him. "You're a scumbag cheater. Don't act all high and mighty. Even a public restroom is cleaner than you. How dare you criticize others for not being proper?" Howard ceded but didn't respond to Coco's retort. Instead, he turned to me. "Are you being influenced by her? Be sensible. Don't be swayed by her. She's not married herself. Can't stand to see you happy. Have you thought about how things will end up if you keep causing a scene like this today?" I chuckled. I only regretted being blind and not seeing how despicable this man was. "How will it end?" "Of course, it will end with a divorce from you," I told him. I would instruct my lawyer to draft a divorce agreement for him in the coming days. The house, the car, the savings, all mine. Your original shares in the company, I don't want much, just half." Howard sneered. "Why should I give in to you? I put away the camera and told him. Of course, it's based on the video in my hand. If I remember correctly, your ex-girlfriend traveled a long way to sleep with you the night before marriage. If I were to release this video, who would be embarrassed? Your company is about to go public. If this scandal comes out, do you think it can still go public? Compared to the future prospects of the company, I don't ask for much. Howard's face turned pale, angrily scolding me. I didn't expect you to be such a materialistic woman. I really misunderstood you. I smirked. It's okay if you misunderstood me. I'm just correcting this mistake in time. It's not me you misunderstood, but your ex-girlfriend. You loved her so much. Why didn't you marry her back then? Did you think she had a low education, was unattractive, or wasn't worthy of you? As if struck a nerve, both Howard and Jenny's faces changed. Jenny almost stomped her feet. Shut up. You don't understand our past at all. Why are you spreading rumors here? Finally, after being here for so long, I looked at Jenny straight in the eyes. Initially, I didn't intend to make things difficult for her. After all, she might be cheap, but men are even cheaper. And it's men I've established contractual relationships with. There is so much crap out there, but if a man isn't a dog, he won't lick it up. All the anger and frustration I have maintained have been directed at this man I chose. But if Lily insists on inviting criticism, I don't mind insulting her a few more times. I looked at her contemptuously. You've placed yourself in such a pitiful situation. Why don't you think if this man truly loves you, why didn't he marry you? I don't believe there's anyone in this society who can't get married due to external reasons. He didn't marry you because he felt you weren't worthy. Unfortunately, you can never wake up someone pretending to be asleep. Despite my direct hit, Lily still chose to bury her head in the sand like an ostrich. She stubbornly shouted at me. You know nothing? Yeah, someone like you, born into wealth, graduated from a prestigious school, who has been standing in Rome since birth. How could you understand the constraints of someone like me, a nobody? Yes, what I did today may not be decent when spoken about, but my love is noble. At least more noble than a marriage based solely on money. Why do you look down on me? Why should I argue with a despicable man like a villain? I smiled. Yes, I don't understand. Then I wish you two can be together forever. Just don't come out to discuss others. After separating from Howard and Jenny, Coco asked me what my plans were next. I knew she meant what I intended to do with the child in my belly. I touched my stomach, feeling torn yet decisive. His father is garbage. If born, he would probably live in this world feeling ashamed. The greatest self-awareness of an adult is not to bring a life into this world easily. After sleeping for a whole day at home, I went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor told me it was a very healthy embryo and asked if I had considered it carefully. I said yes. After leaving the hospital, I received a call from Howard, but I didn't answer. For the next week, he called me countless times every day, but I didn't pick up. What could he say? It was just useless things asking for my forgiveness. After the lawyer delivered the divorce agreement to Howard, I asked the doctor to schedule the surgery for me. On the day of the operation, I had Coco find people to beat up Howard in an alley. Although what I lost couldn't be regained by beating him up, as long as I heard he wouldn't be comfortable either. Perhaps that beating made Howard realize something. He even found out which hospital I was in. When he walked into the ward to see me, I had just finished the operation and was being transferred from the observation room to the ward. Maybe because I looked fine, Howard didn't notice anything unusual. With a swollen face, he rushed to my bedside. Are you still angry? His expression made me want to vomit. Covered in cold sweat, I just asked him, have you signed the divorce agreement? Howard tried to hold my hand, but I avoided it. Unconcerned, he continued his dramatic display of affection. Lily, I know you're still angry about that day, but you've hit and scolded me. Aren't you over it now? I admit I still have some feelings for Jenny, but I take our marriage seriously. Since the day I married you, I've never thought about divorcing you. Jenny and I, it's an uncontrollable love, but we both know we have no future together. That day she said she wanted to see me one last time before her marriage, and I was deeply touched, lost my head for a moment and did some foolish things. I hope you can forgive me. We're all adults. Who doesn't have a past? In fact, just pretend you don't know and it'll all be over. But you have to make it so unpleasant for everyone. Why bother? After much thought, I still believe we should give each other another chance. I'm older than you after all, willing to sincerely apologize to you. Will you forgive me? If it weren't for my physical condition, I really wanted to slap him. I looked at him coldly, and he didn't notice. I really lost my mind. I regret it deeply these days. He shouldn't have taken your love for granted. I shouldn't have done such ridiculous things at such an important time of your pregnancy. But believe me, I know I was wrong. I swear I won't contact Jenny again. I know you were just saying things out of anger that day. You're still upset, still angry, which means you still love me, right? Sure enough, his nonsense matched my expectations. Unwilling to hear more, I told him the child has been aborted. The repentant Howard from just now suddenly changed. How dare you? Don't you know how much I was looking forward to this child? Do you know that by doing this there's no future between us? He roared. It's just a small matter. Why can't you forgive me? Everyone makes mistakes. Why can't you just endure it? He grabbed my collar, loudly questioning me. He was so agitated, his face was red, veins popping out, really terrifying. I had no doubt that if we weren't in the hospital room right then, he would definitely hit me. But I'm not afraid of him. I stared calmly into his eyes. Save those disgusting words for your beloved woman. I'm not a trash collector. I find you disgusting. It seemed Howard finally realized that he was trash. He almost jumped in front of me. Lily, divorce me. You think your life will be better? Let me tell you, divorce me and you'll have nothing. Where are you planning to go next? To your dad's house? Your stepmother will probably make fun of you again. Go ahead. Make a fool of yourself in front of the whole world. Although I was deeply hurt both physically and emotionally, I was really furious. For the first time, I realized that behind Howard's choice to marry me, there were several considerations. First, my personal attributes were good-looking, well-built, well-educated, good income. This means that taking me out, he has face. Second, my family background in the eyes of outsiders was also good. Although my parents divorced and I followed my mother, my father was the head of the power department in our city. Most businessmen need to please him. This means when Howard goes out for negotiations or seeks sponsorships, he can drop my father's name. Third, my dad and stepmom had another daughter. They are not close to me. This lack of closeness meant that Howard didn't have to do much with my dad, but could leverage my dad's influence outside. In other words, Howard marrying me only meant enjoying multiple benefits without fulfilling any obligations. He could do these things, say these things just because he thought there was no one behind me. He could manipulate me as he pleased. But he miscalculated. Even though I was in extreme pain, I still looked at him sideways on purpose. The one who has nothing might be you. Since you brought up my dad and stepmom, then let me tell you, these two people have only taught me one thing in my life, and that is never to fall into a situation of waiting for others to save you. My voice was not loud, but it still shocked Howard. I smirked lightly. From the moment you betrayed me, I had planned every step of our divorce. From now on, get ready to face it all. Howard was furious. Lily, I misjudged you. I never expected you to be so scheming, planning to divorce me and split the assets early on. It turned out Howard was only worried that if I divorced him, he would lose his wealth. How could that be possible? I immediately dialed Jenny's number in front of him. Jenny? Howard came to me begging me not to divorce him. I'll send you the recording of our conversation for you to judge. Your great love, is it worth anything? Rest assured, once he signs the divorce agreement, this trash will be yours to deal with. I pressed send and sent Jenny the recording of Howard's conversation with me just now. Seeing my actions, Howard was furious, his fists even clenched. But I wasn't afraid. I was certain that in a hospital room with so many cameras, he wouldn't dare to act out. Indeed, he was soon kicked out by Coco and the nurses who had heard the commotion. After Howard left, Coco cried out of pity. I didn't shed a tear. Saying I wasn't sad was surely a lie, but as an adult I had to face the consequences of my choices. Choosing the wrong husband isn't frightening. What's frightening is not having the courage to admit you made a mistake and continuing down the wrong path. I was lucky. I had the courage and opportunity to make a new choice. Howard came to see me several times after that, but each time he was scolded off by Coco. The last time, I told him directly that if he didn't agree to the divorce, then we'd see each other in court. The evidence I held made him hesitate. Soon after, he agreed to the divorce. I successfully obtained many assets. These included, but were not limited to, all the savings accumulated during our marriage, our house worth $20 million, and a 1/3 stake in his company. Oh, and the love nest of Howard's, which he bought after we got married. It was said to be the house he and Jenny used to rent. After breaking up, he didn't want to let go of it, so he kept paying rent. Not long after marrying me, he bought that house as a tribute to his past love. Thanks to his love, I got half of it. Howard couldn't bear to sell the house and ultimately gave me half the selling price. After completing the divorce registration, Howard cursed me fiercely. "I regret marrying such a vicious woman like you." I didn't get angry. I wished him to marry his beloved woman soon. I really didn't understand why he was so angry. Isn't that what he had always wanted? I followed the divorce agreement and deleted the videos of him and Jenny, which was also one of the conditions for Howard agreeing to the divorce. I knew what he was thinking. As long as his reputation as a scoundrel wasn't exposed, he could still be the CEO of his company. His previous investors and partners would still trust him. In other words, he still had a future in his career. As long as his career didn't fall apart, he could bounce back. Initially, I had thought about exposing the video to bring everything down. But after calming down, I realized my life was valuable and shouldn't be wasted on trash like Howard. Exposing the video could ruin Howard, but it would also drag me into trouble. Moreover, after spending time with Howard recently, I deeply felt that my understanding of him was too superficial. When I met Howard, his career was already taking off, filled with flowers and applause. Even so, he chose me, the most beneficial person to marry, rather than his so-called unforgettable Jenny. The Howard I knew was just superficially humble and polite. Since his ugly deeds were revealed and I decided to divorce him, I discovered the extreme selfishness, arrogance, irascibility, and ruthlessness hidden beneath his gentle facade. He cheated, but he felt like I was the one doing something wrong by exposing it. At the hospital, before he knew I had an abortion, he still tried to deceive me. But after he found out, his true nature became even clearer to me. Quick to change faces, an extreme person with no pretense. Even though I felt bitter, I knew I shouldn't push him too far. It wasn't necessary for me. I'm still young with a long road ahead. I can't mix with this scoundrel anymore. He hurt me, that's true, but if I live in hatred towards him, he will still have power over me. Now I'll take half of his assets, keep my distance, and disappear. That's the best choice. After signing the agreement, everything went smoothly as planned. But after transferring all the assets to my name, Howard actually showed up at my company to confront me. He was furious, loudly questioning me. "Lily, why are you going back on your word?" Confused, I didn't bother dealing with him and just walked away. But he stopped me, pulling out his phone to show me a photo, trying to act innocent. "Explain this to me." Looking at the photo, I couldn't help but laugh. In the background of the photo, in front of Howard's company, there was a white car with a bright red banner draped over it. I zoomed in on the banner with my finger, and it said, "Thank you, Howard, for taking care of my fiancé day and night." It seems the person who put up this banner is Jenny's fiancé. I marveled at this fiancé in my heart, but I have no idea how he found out about this from miles away. Seeing me laugh, Howard was convinced that I was the mastermind behind this absurdity. He grabbed my collar angrily. "Didn't you say you would delete the video once you got the money? Explain this." I smiled faintly. "So you think if I delete the video, your good deeds won't be known to the world? Why don't you ask your first love if she leaked the information?" Actually, I couldn't be sure if Jenny leaked the information, but to drive Howard crazy, I deliberately said so. Perhaps Howard already suspected Jenny, and hearing my words, he just gave me a fierce look and then immediately took out his phone, seemingly to call Jenny. But then suddenly, an elderly hand appeared in front of Howard and slapped him twice. Howard thought I did it and was about to retaliate, but the person held him by the ear. This person with great destructive power was none other than Howard's mother, Wendy. Even though I was right there, Wendy ignored me completely and only struck Howard continuously. She scolded him, saying he shouldn't get back together with Jenny. Am I talking nonsense? How could you be with that B****** again? Did I not say that if you're with her you won't have me? Do you want to anger me? I'll take you with me when I die. Don't tell me she seduced you. You're despicable. Are you practically sending money to her family? You're so despicable. I should never have given birth to you. This time, the whole internet can see how much their love scandal is worth. In the chaos, I slipped away. After Howard's scandal was exposed, I received sympathy and care from all directions. But when everyone found out that in the divorce, I took half of Howard's fortune, all that sympathy and care turned into jealousy. I was tired of it all and applied for an extended leave at the company. The boss immediately approved it, just like how, upon hearing about my divorce, his first reaction was to wish me well. Enjoy your single life. You don't know how great being single can be until you've done it. In the mall I devoured for over a month. The sea breeze blowing, taking a dip in the sea daily, I soon regenerated. Turns out healing from heartbreak isn't too difficult as long as you're doing better than him. Every day, I would hear the breaking gossip from Coco remotely. After the scandal broke out and he completely fell out with his birth mother, Howard finally decided to bravely be himself. He boldly announced to the world that he loves Jenny. They missed each other for so long, but her perseverance finally made him realize his true feelings. He wants to marry her and spend his life with her. If their actions hurt anyone, he sincerely apologizes to them and is willing to take responsibility. He emphasized that he gave most of his assets to me, his ex-wife, and he will help Jenny return the dowry to her former fiancé as compensation. But love is blameless. He hopes everyone can respect and bless them. Of course, some people were moved to tears, thinking Howard is truly a responsible good man. He even gained a wave of indescribable fans. However, shortly after he publicly pursued Jenny, he faced a backlash. Jenny's parents traveled a long way to Howard's company to make a scene. They didn't ask for much, just a mere $1 million in dowry and for Howard to place Jenny's brother as a director in his company. You love my daughter so much you wouldn't refuse to pay just $1 million, right? With such a big company, how can we trust someone else? You should have your own people support you. Jenny only has one brother. Can you neglect being a good brother-in-law? Jenny's parents are indeed the unrivaled leaders in the troublemaking world. After causing a commotion, they successfully put Howard back in the hot searches. But Jenny was powerless to do anything, only crying throughout, no longer the brave woman she used to be for love. This whole drama ended with Howard giving Jenny's parents $500,000 and both parties signing an agreement. But after this chaos, Howard's investors believed he was unreliable and started to withdraw their investments. The company's listing was postponed indefinitely. This is when you have to admire my foresight and insight. Since I got the shares, I sold them at a low price to another shareholder in the company, making an early profit. While Howard was having a rough time, the whole internet was saying I was the lucky girl. My colleagues at the company were calling me to come back to work, and I couldn't let everyone down. So I quickly ended my vacation and returned to my country. When I was happily working one day, I unexpectedly ran into Jenny after work. She didn't look like she had been enriched by love at all. Instead, she appeared tired and worn out, several years older than when she was chasing love from afar. She said she wanted to talk to me. I replied, "Sorry, I'm very busy," and I walked past her. She rolled up her sleeves, revealing the bruised and battered marks on her arms, looking disturbing. I looked at her in astonishment. She gave a bitter smile and said, "He did this." Jenny then proceeded to tell me her story. After marrying Howard, she moved into the love nest he had bought. I thought it was the beginning of happiness, but it turned out to be the start of a nightmare. Because my parents kept harassing us, demanding money from Howard. He couldn't take it anymore and ended up hitting my brother. My parents called the police and Howard was arrested. I felt really sorry for him. The day he was released from custody, I cooked a table full of dishes for him. Little did I know, when he came home and saw me, he got furious. He said that his biggest misfortune was me. That was the first time he hit me. Since then he seemed possessed, hitting me whenever something didn't go his way. Are you happy to see me suffer because of what I've done? Tears welled up in Jenny's eyes as she looked at me, leaving me speechless. She gazed at me, lost for words. I mean, I have paid the price for what I did, and I hope you can forgive me. These days, watching Howard in so much pain, I finally realized one thing. He hasn't loved me for a long time. He actually loves you. He often loitered around your building but never dared to go up to see you. Seeing him in such torment, I felt really sad because I was wrong to him and to you. The only thing I could do was to give him back to you." I stared at Jenny incredulously. "Are you out of your mind?" Jenny seemed serious, crying as she looked at me. "He really loves you. This is the last thing I can do for him." I really wanted to crack open her head and see what kind of nonsense was going on in there. At that moment, I genuinely felt that the woman in front of me was pitiful, pathetic, and detestable all at once. I even understood why Howard's mother, Wendy, hated her so much. She was like a slug, slimy and disgusting. Sure, her thoughts and actions were constrained by her upbringing. Her original family never gave her a good education. Instead, they just drained her dry. She was a pitiful person. But at 32 years old, educated as she was, she had many chances to break free from her family and lousy love life. Yet she didn't. She willingly handed over her life to others. If a person can't even love themselves, who else could love them? I earnestly advised her to call the police and have that man arrested as my last piece of advice for her. I did not call the police for her. In the end, everyone is responsible for their own destiny. And she didn't call the police either. The last time I heard about Howard wasn't from Coco but from the internet. He trended in the legal section. The keywords were dismemberment. Yes, he killed Jenny, not just poisoning or anything simple but dismemberment. He dismembered Jenny, cooked her, and fed her to the dogs. A sanitation worker found it while picking up trash in the middle of the night and reported it to the police. According to the police report, Howard confessed that he killed her in a moment of impulse because of his recent lack of sleep due to taking sleeping pills. The day before, he agreed with Jenny for her to wake him up at 7 a.m. the next morning. She overslept and didn't wake him up in time. He mentioned that he had an important meeting with a crucial business partner that day. I emphasized to her several times, and she promised me she would wake me up, but she overslept. When I asked her why, she said she felt sorry for me and wanted me to have a good sleep. At that moment, I felt a sense of despair. You know that feeling when living with someone who just never gets it, always messes up everything, and always drags me down with her mother's behavior? I was so fed up I couldn't hold back, so I hit her. I used to hide her before, but this time when I came to my senses, I found she was already dead. I saw her body and felt annoyed with only one thought in my mind. This woman had caused me trouble even in death. My life was over, so I cut her up. After reading this post, netizens were shocked. Some called Howard a demon, while others said it was a shame that Howard had ruined a good hand. Many didn't believe Howard's story, questioning how someone could kill and dismember his wife just because she didn't wake him up on time. After the shock, I thought Howard was indeed a demon, but what he said was the truth. Initially, Lily didn't want them to be together because their college entrance exam scores differed by over 200 points. And yet Howard, clearly a top scorer in the city, didn't choose to attend the best school to be with Jenny, opting for an ordinary one instead. When Wendy beat up Howard in front of me that one time, she also said that Howard couldn't be with someone who always held him back. She wouldn't allow it. I think the Howard who changed his aspirations back then truly loved Jenny. The Howard who broke up with Jenny for the first time probably already realized deep down that being with Jenny meant his life would keep spiraling downwards. But stubborn as he was, he couldn't admit it, so he blamed Wendy for the breakup. Later on, he succeeded in business, still thinking about her but never seeking her out. Instead, he married me, showing that he had cut ties with her in action. However, people are complicated. When she showed up out of the blue, he lost his mind. He forgot why they broke up in the first place and after clashing with me, thought he could love someone who dragged him down. Then, through a series of coincidences, they reunited. But this time, the burden she carried grew heavier, dragging him down faster and faster. Eventually, in a career setback and with his reputation shattered, he broke down. He didn't stab her because she didn't wake him up on time. It was because in trivial things, he started to realize that Jenny was only a hindrance and a killer. In the end, he was just extremely selfish. Because of his terrible upbringing at first, he saw his love for Jenny as a way to rebel against his mother. Maybe he never loved her. He only loved the version of himself that fought against his mother. So when he actually married Jenny, and life took a turn for the worse, he realized his mother was right. Again, he flew into a rage and killed her. Jenny actually had a chance to escape. If she had listened to me and called the police earlier, things might have been different. But if she were the type to call the police, why did she drive all those miles to see a man who had already abandoned her on the eve of their wedding? The gears of fate had started turning long before, leading to this inevitable conclusion. Thankfully, I have distanced myself from all of this.